of Lioli Educations, and in today's presentation I was invited by Career Education Consultancy Australia, CECA, to give this presentation to you guys, international students, on how you can find jobs, especially during this very hard time. As we all know, the COVID-19 has taken away lots and lots of jobs from many students. So before I start, I just want to say that this is a collaboration between my company, Lioli Education, and CECA. Now, CECA has been established since 2006. They are a very, very established and very, very successful education and migration firm with offices in different parts of Australia, from Adelaide, Brisbane, Melbourne to Sydney. And they provide admission services, migration services, PTE, and IELTS training, and many, many more. So in today's presentation, hopefully I can show you guys a few tips and strategies on how you can find jobs during this very hard time. Okay, so what we're going to cover today is, first, I will show you why many of you still haven't got your dream jobs. Now, everything that we'll mention today, guys, these are a snippet into my job coaching program. So if you want to have a more in-depth involvement into the program, you can always reach out to CECA, and they will tell you more about my job coaching program, where we have helped so many international students to find jobs in Australia, especially in regional areas. Okay, so what we're going to talk about, we're going to talk first about top 10 reasons why you do not have your dream jobs, and then we'll follow by the top 5 most available jobs, and especially in regional areas that you do not know. And we go to top 5 jobs to apply during COVID-19, top website to find jobs. Now, when I say top websites, I do not mean Seek or Indeed or Zora, because as much as it is very popular in Australia, those websites do not really help in terms of getting you an employment, especially if you're new. Those websites are very, very not really helpful for you, because the competition is very high, and I'll explain that later on. And also we talk about the top 5 reasons why employers not hiring you, top 5 ways to impress your employers. We're also talking about how you can improve on your CV as well. Now, just to give you a bit of a understanding about my job journey, and why am I doing what I'm doing. Before becoming the CEO of Lioli Education, I have done over 10 different jobs. So in this quick snapshot, you will see that my job journey, I first started in the hospitality industry as a waiter, then move on to work as a receptionist, and then become a cook, and then I become a kitchen hand, then back to waiter again, and then work for a supermarket. Before that, and after that, I went to Australia. I worked as an education counselor, and then got promoted to become sales and marketing manager, or later on goes to work for a college as a sales and marketing officer. And for the past nearly 2 years, I've been running my own business as a CEO at Lioli Education. So this is just to give you a quick overview of my job journey. And so this was me before, right? I have done 12 different odd jobs. Now, the reason I'm telling you this is not to brag with you or to show off. I'm telling you all this information because I want to show you what is possible. Because I was an international student, just like many of you watching this, and I also went through a lot of hardship and difficulties before becoming who I am today. So that's why I want to give you an overall look, so you understand the journey, and hopefully this will inspire you. So before I become who I am today, I done about 12 different odd jobs. I totally hated those jobs, anywhere from being waiter, a kitchen hand, work in the supermarket, checkout operator, I work as a cleaner, I work as a receptionist, any sort of entry-level jobs that you could think of, that usually international students would do. I probably have done it all. And I got fired from 4 of them. Again, not a very pleasant experience. Got ripped off by previous employer who paid me below the market rate. Indeed, they pay me in cash, which was, again, highly don't recommend that. If you're planning to work here, get everything on paper. Do not get paid in cash. I was broke at the age of 24 years old. I didn't have any saving. My life was just a completely total mess. And later on, I failed my visa. I failed my visa 3 times. Give me a second. I failed my visa 3 times, and anywhere from my skill assessment as a restaurant manager, and later on I failed as my 485 visa, and also I failed my small business owner 489 Tasmania state nomination. Of course, this was because of my migration agents previously. I was totally misled by him. I was on BVA, which is a bridging visa, for nearly 2 years to wait for AAT, or also known as Migration Review Tribunal, MRT. I was rejected by hundreds of employers when I was trying to look for a job in regional areas. As you could imagine, I didn't have any contacts. Now, that was me before I become who I am today. Now I got my visa, my residency here in Australia on the 4th time. Despite me not knowing lots of employers here, not having much networks here, I was able to file a full-time job, and not just one but many. But of course, I have to settle for one. So I got a full-time jobs here when in Tasmania, especially when everyone was telling me that it is impossible. All my friends told me that no chance you'll find jobs in Tasmania. I'm a 6-figure income earner. I'm a full-time business owner, and the thing that I'm proud the most now is I've been able to help other clients of mine avoid the same mistakes. So I hope this does inspire you. Okay, so let's grab a pen, grab some notes. Let's take some serious notes, because I'm gonna give you very, very quality informations. Okay, so if you're really determined to get a job, if you're just tired of working in a dead-end job, so if you're just tired of working at jobs below your potential, take note of this, and take note of it well. 10 things I did. 10 things that reasons why you didn't have your dream job. Number 1, you do not know how to sell yourself. Now, many of you have got bachelor, master degree in Australia, or some maybe about to. And yes, even though those qualifications, they are prestigious, they are very, very helpful for you. But the problem with that is just because you have a degree, that would not get you a dream job. Indeed, you need to learn how to sell yourself. And how to sell yourself, if you want to know more, you can always join my job coaching program. I show exactly how I sold myself, and how I was able to land multiple jobs despite my visa and despite my lack of networking and lack of experience in the education industry at that time. Number 2, you do not follow up with your applications. A lot of you watching this, you apply for jobs, maybe on Seek, maybe on Indeed or Zora, but you never follow up. Indeed, you just apply and finger crossed, waiting for the employer to get back to you. Unfortunately, that's just not the right way to do it. So now you might be aware why you don't have a job. A statistics to remember: it's 80% of all your jobs will happen between the 5th to the 12th follow-up. What that means is, if you just follow up or don't even follow up, of course you're not going to get a job. But if you do follow up, it takes you somewhere between the 5th to the 12th time a follow-up, so that you will get the job of your dream. Number 4, you do not know where to find them. Now, when I say where to find your jobs, what happens is you usually just focus on areas in the CBD. You only focus on areas in Sydney, Melbourne, or just in the heart of those cities. You completely ignore or look at those areas outside of those CBDs. Again, not a smart thing to do, because indeed the competition, as you can imagine, when you look for jobs within those highly concentrated areas is very, very high. So why not reaching out to areas outside of the CBDs? And that is where my clients have been able to find jobs. That is where your chances of landing a job will be 5-6 times higher. Number 5, you do not have a system to keep track. So anytime you apply for jobs, what you do is you just see a job on Seek or Indeed, and you just apply, but you never keep track. If I ask you right now, how many jobs have you applied for the last 3 to 4 weeks? Who are the employers? When did you apply? What did they say? Who do you talk to? I guarantee you, you will not remember. I guarantee you that. And the problem with not having a system is you will not know where you are, and you can't follow up if you do not know, or if you can't recall the jobs that you apply for. So again, if you want to learn how to keep track of your job applications, if you want to have a system, you can join my job coaching program, and we'll tell you more towards the end of the presentation. Number 7, you're not creative at all. Indeed, most of you watching this, you guys apply jobs just with a CV and a cover letter. And to be very honest, after me interviewing and knowing a lot of my friends who are employers, as well as interviewing those employers out there, one thing that I hear all the time is they tell me, Leo, all the CV look exactly the same, and there's nothing different. So the employers themselves have a very hard time differentiating who is the good one and who's the bad one. So unless you're creative, you will not get a job. Number 8, you do not have a clear target. Many of you apply for a job, but you don't have the deadline, you don't have the goal, you don't have the reasons why you should get a job. You just apply for jobs, but without having a goal. And that is where you can get discouraged pretty soon. Number 9, you have too many excuses. I'm not good enough. I'm not experienced enough. I don't know anyone. I don't know the employer. I'm new to the industry. I don't have my visa. I don't have my permanent residency. I'm too busy to apply for 10 jobs a day whatsoever, right? You have too many excuses, and of course you can either make excuse or you can make progress, but you never can make both. Number 10, you do not have spend time researching employers. You'll be surprised when I speak to a lot of employers, and one of the common feedback they tell me is those guys who came for my interview, they don't know anything about my company. They don't know anything about who's the employer, who's the director, who's the manager, and that's really disappointing. So again, definitely you want to do some due diligence. You want to do some research about the employers. And last but not least is you're not willing to work in increments. Too many of you are too caught up with the mindset that I must be fully paid right at the get-go, or I must have a full-time job immediately, or something like that. Now that is where the problem comes in, is you're not willing to work in increments from internship to casual to part-time to full-time. Okay, next, top 5 most available jobs. Okay, now these sort of jobs, yes, you can find it, of course, in big cities, but also if you're planning to go to regional areas for some reasons, because a lot of my students do, this will be the 5 jobs that you will always have to go back to. Aged care, community service, disability, childcare, nursing, huge. Healthcare industry is massive, especially for regional areas. Is a huge thing. Okay, indeed, during this COVID-19, and I believe you watch it when you watch this video, probably you still have some sort of experience, or some sort of you might heard of someone, or some people still going through this COVID-19, right? So aged care is always essential service. It's always there. Health service, indeed, during this whole hard time of COVID-19, there's more demand for aged care workers now, more than ever. And number 2, hospitality, massive. It's a big industry in regional areas, massive. 3, sales jobs. As far as I'm concerned, every company needs extra sales. So if you can work on your sales skill, marketing skills, you will be a lot in demand. And I don't care where you want to go, or who you want to work for. As long as you know how to do sales, and as long as you know how to do marketing, you will be always in demand. I can guarantee you that. So I highly recommend, if you want to learn how to do selling, you can always join my sales coaching program as well. Number 4, trades jobs. Okay, tradies, always in demand. Laborer, always in demand, right? Like carpenter, plumber, builder, always in demand. Chef, always in demand. And last but not least, farm jobs. Now, top 5 jobs to apply during this COVID-19. Delivery, there's always a demand for that. At the moment we speak, most of the states are back to, a bit kind of, you can call it normal, but Victoria is still going through a hard time. So if you happen to be in Victoria right now, maybe, again, this might not be ideal, but you should really, if possible, again, you need to see if the rules allow you to, but if possible, consider becoming a delivery driver, where you can do the takeaways, and you can bring food to the client's house. 2, farm hands. 3, aged care worker, disability worker, community worker. Again, it's all under the health industry. Supermarket is there in demand. And call center workers, people who can do calling, who have good customer skill, they can go for the call center jobs. Now, top website, I don't want to go into this too much. You can always pause this video and watch this, or check out these websites. These are just some of the many websites, and you will realize that lots of these websites I'm talking about, first of all, they are not the traditional websites that you know of, like Seek or Indeed. Many of them are government websites, and government websites are actually very powerful in terms of finding jobs. Keep that in mind. Top 5 tips for your resume. Okay, and I've been trying to save this towards the end, because I feel like this is they say save the best for last, right? This would be some of the very helpful tips for you, so make sure you take some serious note. Number 1, if you want to write a good resume, first of all, sometimes you can have to write 2-3 pages, right? From on the page 1, make sure you always highlight all the most important skills, all the most important statistics or facts that they should know about you. Because to be honest with you, a lot of employers, they would not even flip more than over page 1. If they see page 1 have nothing good, usually, now not all, but usually they will say that's enough. All right, because keep in mind, they have hundreds and probably thousands of applications, and they cannot just simply go through word by word when you send them a CV. It's just impossible. Number two, you got to use the language of the job you want to apply for. So let's say if you want to apply for accounting jobs, you should use the accounting language, like payroll, like bookkeeping, like Xerox, QuickBooks software, could be reconcile, could be credit, debit. You have to use the knowledge. Oh, sorry, the words and the language of that job you're applying for. Number three, stay close to the job description. So this is something that people don't do, right? Is when you write a CV, and if you want to apply for specific jobs, you must, and again, if you want to know more, you can always join my job coaching program, right? But you must stay close to the job description of the position as much as possible. So if the position have about 6 to 7 bullet points in your CV, you should stay close to those 6, 7 bullet points as much as you can, because once you do that, you might have a better chance to get a job. Now, maybe you might not be aware, but nowadays recruiters or employers, they use a pre-filler software. It's an automated computer software to pre-filter resume. This is called as applicant tracking system, ATS. So what that means is, if you do not have a good resume with all the keywords, with all the terms and the languages that the employer wants to hear or see, your resume will be by default, being put aside, because the system, the software actually filter your CV. So if you do not, do what I told you earlier, the employer will not be able to, get to see your CV. Now, maybe you are a very good candidate, but because of this ATS system, they might not even see your CV. And last but not least is, this is gonna make or break right here, is you gotta learn to make a video resume. Now, when I say video resume, I mean you make a resume, but by filming yourself. So nowadays, keep in mind, guys, people, they want to watch. They don't really want to read. They're too busy. They don't want to read. So my recommendation is make sure you use the video resume. So you create a video. Okay. So again, if you want to learn how to do that, you can always join my job coaching program. You can always ask CCA to know more information. Now, few last line that we finished. Top 5 ways to impress your employer. Now, again, you got the CVs right, you got all the things right. Now you need to learn how to impress. So this is back to the point where I say you got to learn how to sell yourself. Some of you, maybe you guys are introvert, you don't like to sell, maybe you don't like to socialize, you don't like to extrovert, or get yourself out there. Here's the bad news: if you want a job, and if you just all about yourself, if you don't extrovert out, if you're not willing to communicate and and convey your message with confidence, unfortunately you will not get a job. So 5 ways you need to do. Number 1, you need to build an online presence. So for me, or for my students and my clients, we really heavily using LinkedIn, very powerful platform. And you can always make sure you can always watch my LinkedIn as well, if you want to know more, so you can get some inspiration and some ideas on how to do it. Number 2, okay, we will mention this, you gotta learn to build a video resume. All right, so you will need to send a video to the employer. This will set yourself apart so much from others. Number 3, build your references. Now, employer these days, they really care about your references. So what other people think of you, Let's say if you used to work for an employer, they want to know what that employer thought about you. So build your references, and the more you can stack up, the more you can build, the more powerful it will be. Number 4, follow up. Okay, so a lot of the time, employer would not take you serious until you actually follow up with them. Because they want to see that you really want this job, and not just copy and paste and just send like mass resume to every employer. That's not something you wanna do. And 5 is great attitude. Attitude nowadays is the key. Okay, if you have a good attitude, more likely you get a job. If you have a great attitude, man, that's strong. Okay, so last slide. So for any one of you who wish to join my job coaching program to learn more about how I went through those job journey of 12 different jobs and now becoming who I am today, and with the success that I had, you want to learn how I was also able to help so many of my students having success with my job coaching program, then you can join this. And for CECA clients only, right now I'm not sure if how long this will last, but right now we're offering 80% of our program for CECA students. So if you want to interested to join this program, make sure you reach out to CECA, and I look forward to helping more of you with the job journey. Thank you, and talk to you soon.